Evening, people. So I declare this Martinborough Community Board meeting open. Start with the karakia.
Kia te mareno, kia whakapapa pauna me te moana. Hei huarahi mā tātou I te rangi nei. Aroha atu, aroha mai. Tātou ia tātou tātua. Ue taiki.
Need to do health and safety very quickly. If you need to exit where you came in or behind, and if you need toilet, there's one down the corridor on the left-hand side. And if there's an earthquake, yes, you will take the appropriate action. All right. Are there any apologies?
Councillor Archer. You can move and skip it.
Yeah, I can move that. I'll move.
Yeah, I'll see that.
Conflicts of interest. We'll talk about that now.
Yeah, no, you need to do it in the order.
So conflicts of interest. Nobody has any conflict of interest, but people do have associations. So we're going to go around and say what those associations are so that everybody is aware of them.
Yes, so I have children at school and at kindy, and yeah, I know people a little bit, here, but otherwise no financial or personal interest implication.
No.
I'm the same. I've got children at Martinborough School, and I also have one perceived conflict probably with age concern, as Jackie is my cousin, and just my association with the social crust as well.
You are volunteering.
Yeah. No, yeah, my mother's a volunteer.
The only one is that I'm part of the Ruakot community.
I don't know why.
Conflicts.
No. I'm a member of the men's shed. Also volunteer for digital senior, and have an association with social trustees. But I'm not on any. I don't have any official capacity with those. Okay. Acknowledgements and tributes. We've obviously got one for Adrian statements. But shocking for people.
Yeah, actually, I would like to acknowledge Adrian's time as a mayor for the South Wairarapa District Council. She served quite a number of trainees as the mayor of the South Wairarapa District before she moved to Greater Wellington Regional Council, and she always kept her hand in, would come to support all the different things throughout the region. So she was also very well known just by face and sight. So she'll be missed, really missed by a lot of people. So.
Public participation. Okay. People, here tonight, thank you for the funding that is available. We have to say we've been asked to fund rather more than we actually have developed. But we welcome you and supporting your application. We have 5 minutes per application. It's not very long, but otherwise we need to stick to the time reasonably, so that we get through it in right. Okay, so shall we start with Peter Gunn? Peter from the men's shed.
Something.
Anywhere you like.
Thank you to the members of the board for giving us the opportunity. I've only been the chairman of the men's shed for 2 months, and this task landed on my neck immediately after being nominated into the role. I should say at the start, it's nice to see that the mayor is here and is willing to find extra funding for the community board in future, so that you have a much easier task. What I would like to say is you've had all of the information in front of you from the application, so I don't want to go through all of that. But just to say that the men's shed basically has become a victim of its success. Each year, in the last 10 years since the organisation was started, basically, and each year we have averaged somewhere between 60 and 80 community projects, ranging from construction just a few months ago of 35 predator traps for the Aorangi Trust. And as a result of all of this, we find ourselves in a difficult position with a number of our projects not being able to manage properly in the space that we have. Storage is particularly a problem in relation to an event which started about 2 years ago, which was the refurbishment of mowers and small engines out of the transfer station. And the staff down there have been very good. They find something donated, they give us a call, somebody goes down, collects them, and we make something out of them and we return them back into the community. And that's fairly typical of some of the things that go on. We have the opportunity to purchase a container for storage, which we want to set up for a dual purpose, be able to store the, currently I went to check today, 11 mowers that are partly under construction, but also to store garden tools and implements and shorter lengths of timber to free up space for the men's projects. In a nutshell, that's what we're hoping for, and open to any questions or comments.
Thank you.
We've applied for $4,000. It's the total cost of the actual container.
The container itself, we have one available. Normal retail price of an as-new container is $5,250. We've negotiated to get it for at least for no more than $4,000, and we're hoping to be able to reduce that cost. It comes down to what we have available in funding in the end. But the owner of it has given us first option on it.
What do you have? Any other comments?
Thanks, Chair. Thanks, Peter. Just, have you applied to any other organisations for funding?
Not for this grant, no, not for this project, no.
Sorry, you've done some of your own fundraising as well for the.
Yes, we run an annual sale, which was fairly successful towards the end of last year. But from that money, we've already earmarked $2,000 for dust extraction equipment for the area in the courthouse where machinery works. And when men are working with sanders and so on, it's a health hazard. Yeah, so that equipment is currently in the process of being installed. So that's been the major other part out of that money that we raised last year. However, we still have a little in reserve.
Well, thank you.
That's it.
Consider.
Good luck with your decision making.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next. City seniors.
Evening. I'm suffering from long COVID, so I've written a few notes in case I forget anything. Late. So Digital Seniors has been in the region since 2018. We work pretty much across the whole of the Wairarapa. We cover mainly libraries, but we also work in care homes, rest homes, that sort of places. We provide visits to people in their own homes as well, should they need that, and that's kind of a universal approach across the Wairarapa. Specifically in Martinborough, we provide a service from Heartland's building there. That's on a weekly basis. That's at a drop-in centre. The primary goal of what we do is to not do what I do, which is effectively take the device from the person, fix it and give it back to them. That's really not a good approach. Everyone else that's better than me effectively teaches the person how to kind of fix the problem. So the idea being is that it's not a case of just fixing a fault, it's actually teaching the person. So we have people that come back on numerous occasions because they have projects or works or books or anything at all. So it really is a kind of, it's an ongoing situation that we provide. We've fairly recently started a kind of monthly visit out to the Landgill at Piranoa. So two of us will go out there and drive out there, and we'll spend a couple of hours there, which is again really aware that rurally people struggle to get in because they can't afford to, or because they're not mobile enough, etc. So, you know, that's one of the other areas we're really trying to do, is to do some outreach to some of these people. Martinborough Library, we currently, I think we do a talk probably about every 6 weeks, some sort of demonstration, and then also an opportunities to people that aren't aware that we're in Heartlands. That's pretty much it, and we're available to provide talks or link up with any other age concern, etc., any other organisations that kind of have a need where we might be able to help people within their area. That's it.
The money that you've asked for is mostly for what purpose?
Well, I mean, we've got two key areas. One is travel costs. Obviously, when we visit anyone, there's a cost involved with that. And secondly, our overall costs in terms of providing the service. So we have things like flyers and pens. We do advertising to try to get people's awareness. We have 25 volunteers just in the Wairarapa. We're a national organisation. So we have a 0800 helpline number. We do support via, you know, web and email, etc. So it's effectively towards that, and I apply for grants right across the region. And unfortunately, historically, you know, over the last probably 3 or 4 years, you know, everyone's pot has got considerably smaller. So it's a really tough environment to be in, which is understandable. So, but we try to provide a service right across the region as much as we can.
Thanks, Chair. Thanks for your application. Thanks for coming in to talk us through it. You say that you're hoping to target 150 seniors. Is that expanding?
Yeah, I mean,
Current, or I suppose the other way is, the other part of the question is, how many people are you servicing in the Martinborough at the moment?
at the moment it would be about 150, but that's not really including talks. That's more of a one-to-one approach in terms of people that we're helping.
Yep.
So you know, it's I would say that would be the lowest number, and really depending on how many people attend anything.
Yep.
Or whatever. I mean, like Piranoa potentially has been quite good, and I think that's a really important thing to do. So that's the sort of thing we're trying to do, is reach people that otherwise can't get to our services. The other problem is library staff generally either aren't available or aren't skilled, and even in Masterton, I know it's separate, but they've actually unfortunately had to lose 2 of their staff that deal with technology. So the problem is, as well, is, you know, actually the number of services that provide any support,
It's increasing.
it's decreasing because no one can afford a whole person or half a person. So I guess I feel that we provide good value in that we're there week in, week out, to help people that need it.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your application.
Okay, Karina? Your opportunity.
I'm a prompt from stage left.
Appearances. I do have to race off to training straight after this, so I am here for the Ruakok community. Kia ora koutou. First, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to speak, and I know I've only got 5 minutes, so I've scripted what I want to say so I don't go off track and use up someone else's time. So the why. With ever-changing weather patterns and events, it's incredibly important for communities to be ready, prepared and resilient in these somewhat unpredictable times. As an employee of an emergency service, both as a firefighter and medical first responder, and having recently moved to the Ruakaka community, it was inevitable that I, along with my partner, who is now the Chief Fire Officer, that we join together with others in the community who are dedicated and committed to ensuring our community is safe, well prepared, and has the means to be self-sufficient in the event of an emergency. With the support from Mel Arcus from Remo, we've established a community emergency hub consisting of dedicated and passionate members, all with the same vision of providing a safe place where people can access information, support and resources that they may need in the event of an emergency. There are two things that humans need the most: warmth and connection. With the Ruakaka Hall being identified as a neutral space to host the community emergency hub, our aim is to ensure the hall can provide both of these critical elements in what could be people's greatest time of need. The hall is fragile and needs infrastructure work done, which the Residents Association have allocated funds to. Ironically, the night we hosted Mel Arcus, there was a power cut. Generators were called in. We've got a lot of work to do behind the scenes. I'm applying on behalf of the Community Hub and Residents Association for the funding of heaters, which you know. Without these heaters, the space will not provide the warmth, comfort and connection that our residents will be seeking in their greatest time of need. So thank you for the opportunity to present, and happy for any questions between us.
I'll just reiterate that the evening that we had with Mel Arcus, there were 2 people from the community board at the hall, and it was pretty cold, wasn't it? You'll agree, won't you? And it was
a little bit ploy, wasn't it?
so was the power cut. As soon as we went and flicked the switch, and so that's why we're applying for heaters. We have looked at the electric ones, but the discussion has changed slightly in that we may be thinking about putting a wood burner in as an alternative, because of course the electric ones, when there's a power cut,
Yeah.
We were going to ask you what you were going to do.
we are getting a generator as well, and there are some applications into different places for funding for electrical work, so we can get the kind of socket that you need for a generator. So that's why we're going for heaters.
Are you still going for heaters, or are you going for wood burning?
We haven't decided that yet. We haven't decided that yet. And one of the other things is about the heaters is burner is that for as long as my wife and I live in the valley, the hall will have free firewood, so long as somebody comes and cuts it up for the hall. And I just think heat, it's very important, as Karina said, and as Mel told us about the people down at Naui. One of the most important things for a lot of people was connection, and just having a hub, a place to go to, where they felt as if they were still a part of the community and they weren't isolated out in the house by themselves and nobody really knew that they were there. So the place needs to be welcoming.
One minute, any question?
Sorry, Mr. Chair. So then the application's changed, so it's not specifically for heaters? Is it for heating system?
It is specifically for heaters.
So for heating? Or
Yes,
is-
heating.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. That was if we're fortunate to get the money for this, the money will go towards heaters and nothing else. I can assure you of that.
Thank you. Thank you. That's just right here.
Thanks very much.
No, it's excellent question. Thank you.
Tables and chairs are very good, by the way.
Oh, great.
Last year.
That's awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, have a good evening.
So, Jackie Wilton.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thanks.
So the age population of Martinborough is about quarter of the population. And in the last 2 years, we have started a lot of outreach into Martinborough. 2 years ago, there was a coffee morning here once a month. In the last 12 months, we now have Steady As You Go once a week, which is a balance and fitness group. And we also have line dancing. I tried to get them to give me a video, and the line dancers said, get the community board to come along and join us for a day. So that's on Friday at 2 o'clock. You're all welcome. So to keep these things going, we don't, as you'll see, we get partially funded, but we don't get funded for everything. And because of the increase in the growth in what we're doing, which is all about connecting people socially and helping them age well, health, nutrition, etc., we're applying for funding to help us with the cost of the venue. That's it.
It's mostly for rent for venues.
Yes, that's all it'll be used for. And I mean, it's a portion. We probably spend about 3,500 total on rent here, but I've just used one portion, as in the Heartlands and there's the Heartlands and the outreach, which is the elder abuse response and all that sort of thing as well, which I do down here.
Other questions? Obviously.
Go on, Aidan.
Aidan?
Go on, drill me.
Thanks, Chair. So how many people will you be in contact with in Martinborough weekly?
Just Martinborough without Pirranor at the moment.
Martinborough, yep.
Okay, so it's a bit challenging to say weekly because Pirranor is bi-monthly. Coffee group,
Monthly.
okay, monthly, bi-monthly, 1632, 1632, 64. So we have two groups of 16, they're weekly, so if we have them every week, and those are your two exercise groups. The coffee group has between 15 and 25, depending on the weather and the week, and that's once a month. And then Pirranor was 15 at the first go, and that was our first, what we're calling remote rural outreach. Yeah, and that was, we were asked to do that, to go down to that community, and we took along with us trust, rural support. Access came and did blood pressure tests, and we ended up with somebody having to go off to hospital as a result of that. So that was actually really important. And we taught them to do a bit of exercise. So they're now carpooling into Martinborough to do that at Wharekaka. Yeah, so over 100, well over 100 a month. And yeah, lots of positive outcomes.
Great, thanks for that, Jax.
No worries.
Jax, just with, are you looking at sort of going further out, further reaching? It's just going to.
Yeah, we wouldn't need venue hire for that. I possibly have an inn at the Tertiary Hall, I don't know. Used to be the chair, as some of you know. But like there's a big community out at Tertiary or at Tora now. And what we found at Pirranor, which was quite interesting, was that fishing, farming community been there forever, knew people that are retiring there, didn't know each other. And so at the thing we did at Pirranor, they just yapped, couldn't get them to shut up actually. It was, had to put on the big girl voice. And we're expecting this, we do know some of the same as going out at Tora, because I was the chair out there and, yeah.
Do you have any idea what sort of reach you have into the community?
In what respect?
In terms of the numbers of people that you're contacting and the numbers of people who are out there who actually need. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who probably don't need the support.
That's right.
How do you How do you know that you're actually reaching the people who do need support?
Well, we don't. It's all we can do is keep communicating, keep trying. I'm a local, and that is one of the reasons support has grown down this way. My father grew up here, so you know a lot of the people that we work with went to school with my father. So that's your old school Martinborough folk. Newer folk, it's word of mouth. Yeah, lots of word of mouth, and we get referrals from doctors. So we've got several referrals to our Steady As You Go group that have come from the medical centre. Yeah, so that's where a lot of that's coming from, is medical referrals. But yeah,
All right, thank you for coming.
welcome.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you.
Mark?
Hi everyone, I have written it down because this is way out my comfort zone. Hi everyone, I'm Liz Larkin. I'm here representing the Martinborough JAB. Our committee has been putting a lot of effort in to get more kids back into rugby. Over the past few years, numbers have dropped. So we're really focused on turning that around and making our club a better club. We've been running things like discos, training camps, and a few more fun activities lined up to keep kids involved and excited. At the heart of it, we are just wanting kids to be active, stay healthy, and feel proud to be part of Martinborough community. My son is a little bit old for the tournament I'm asking for funds towards for the kids. But he has played in them. It's a memory that he'll always have. It was so much fun, exhausting, but so much fun. And the girls reminded me the first year that his team actually went over, it was based in Wellington, not Upper Hutt. They thought they were going to another country. Two of the kids asked if they spoke English. So we've got that small town thing happening, but we're trying to get them into a wider community. It's a Wellington regional tournament. Our kids are small fry, but they hold their own over there. We're aiming to get 4 teams of 10 children. So that's managers, coaches and everyone. We just really don't want the current financial times in our community to be barriers to these kids getting out there and getting over the hill and being involved in something that is actually really important as a community. People that have grown up here will know that the Martinborough rugby is the hub of a lot of activities and a lot of people. So we're asking for our funding to go towards that.
Thanks, Chair. Well, as you said that the numbers of children participating had dropped. What sort of level had they dropped to? Now that you've said in the application form, it's up 80 to 120 at the moment. Where were the numbers at previously?
That 80 to 120 is the kids that would be playing. The managers, coaches and the supporting crew. Would like to obviously extend that to all the families that are going and the people that are going. As a rugby club this year, we have 91 children registered to play. In the last year, we had 86, so we're slowly snatching some of those kids back from football and bringing them back over to the rugby community. But we're just trying really hard. Once they get to that year 9 level, we find a lot of the girls drop off, which we're trying to rectify by getting tournaments for girls. And yeah, just trying to hold on to those kids, thinking it's actually cool to play a sport.
Right, thanks for that, Liz.
Thank you for your thanks.
Yeah.
Kia ora tātou, thanks for the opportunity to support the application. Jazz and Martinborough is an entertainment event we've been putting on every first weekend of September since 2011, when it was a fundraiser for the Christchurch earthquake. Over the period of time, apart from a pause during COVID, we've had 4 fundraisers: Christchurch earthquake, Kaikoura earthquake, and then fundraising to provide the PA system that's in the hall. That's $18,000 worth. A couple of years ago, through Rotary, we facilitated the purchase of those lights that are in there now. It's about 24 grand's worth. So we've always had a superb auditorium. Jazz and Martinborough treats this is our main stage. This is our spiritual home. This is a fantastic amenity, and it's now got all of the AV. Well, it hasn't got that flash stuff, but it's got the basic performance AV that is needed. Jazz and Martinborough has never fundraised for itself. We're prudent managers. We're all there's just a few of us, they're all volunteers. That we worked out now how to budget. So it's a low cost enterprise. However, we need a bit of dough just to get us to pay for a few of the things, like the application said. It's for about half the cost of technicians that we use when our headline acts come Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. Now, it's possible, and I've only asked for half of what, it depends on whether the bands want to bring their techie or whether we have to supply the techie. That's why I've gone for half. The rest of it, written there.
We've all appreciated Jazz and Martin over the years.
Yeah, but have you been to Jazz and Martin events? Yeah, I know you have.
No conflict of interest.
Yeah.
So basically, this is to support your payment for technicians.
Yes.
In this application, talk something about reducing the cost of the tickets for the general community.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Actually, is specifically for a sound and lighting technician, and to keep. By paying for it, as I said, payment.
So I think, can I respond to that? The key thing is that we try to keep the ticket price for the headline acts under $50. These are acts that you would pay at least $80, maybe $120 for over the hill. So anything that can help us do that, we can always put on a show. If you are unable to help us with this, our show will go ahead, but it'll make it difficult for us to keep under $50 per head.
Yeah, the question.
So it is. So for the three events, ticket numbers.
Last year, you probably many of you will know Dylan Taylor. Dylan's local. He's made a career out of AV now. He came and lit the place and did the sound for our Saturday night gig, and that ended up costing us $900. But we gave him a bit extra because he did a training session on the lights while he was here.
So how many people were here on the Friday night for the concert, Saturday night and Sunday night?
Full house, 120
each night.
Yep.
Awesome.
And that's got that's directly linked to the low ticket price.
Yeah.
We'd rather have a full house
and so would the musicians.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Then make a bit more money by raising the ticket price.
Thanks, that's it.
Any more? No. Thanks, Chair.
Yes.
Carol? Ms. Quash, recommend.
Oh, again?
No.
Our application this year is towards the culmination of our exterior maintenance project, which we've been running since 2024. So far, we have spent nearly $44,000, which is pretty impressive with a club of about 90 people, half of which are children and juniors. For the funding that we've received so far, 64% of it was funding and the rest we raised ourselves. We had a great casino night here, which put a lot of funds towards it, and then also excess funds that we had in our bank went towards it. We're up to stage 4, which is replacing the roof. And, well, it's not replacing it, we're repairing the roof and then painting it to incorporate it into the rest of the building. And it's right next door to the Martinborough Golf Club. And already, since we painted it last year, it's just so incredible how the whole thing comes together. It's just great. But you walk up the 18th and you think, oh, that roof needs a bit of doing. So, of course, we've been trying to organise to do that in the summer. And then the weather this year has been pretty horrible. And then, so we need it repaired before we can paint. Apparently, the corrugated iron is turning up next Wednesday. So maybe Monday week, we will actually start putting that on and hopefully no more weather events that will stop us painting it. So we've already got funding from Trust House, have provided nearly half of it. 25% again, we're funding ourselves. South Wairarapa Rotary have been kind enough to give us a grant of $2,000. So that was why our application to the community board was for 2.5, just to get us over the line. We currently have funding in play from Payne Estate, which is doing the inside with the technology stuff, which we've just about all got hooked up and everything now. So it's really coming together. The first junior night is on Friday. We're about to start winter interclub with at least two, maybe 3 teams. And we've got our open on 22nd, 23rd of May. So we're just trying to get everything looking beautiful. So we just want to get over the line because this has been a huge project and it's our last little bit. We would appreciate anything that could come our way.
Are there any questions from you?
No, I don't have questions, but just agree that it's been a long, ongoing
Yes.
project. And over a number of years, and yeah, nothing happens overnight.
Yeah, yeah,
And it is
amazing. Yeah. So I mean, God, I actually asked Graham, the builder, I said, when did we last do something on the roof? And it's got that lantern thing at the top.
Yeah.
And well, hopefully we'll be putting new netting or something up there, because before they took the trees out in the car park, there were possums would get up there, and we can still hear birds and everything, but you know, we want to secure it. And we've just got new stuff inside for sponsorship stuff, and we've got new glass balustrading that club members have put in for, and we just want to keep it watertight now. Actually, and all that. I mean, it's a winter sport. A lot of kids play rugby as well, play football as well, and they also play squash. So it covers South Wairarapa, it's South Featherston, it's Piranoa. Kids come in from all over. So it's well utilised.
Have you asked in the other areas for contribution?
Other than Trust House, no.
we don't really qualify for things like pub charity. We did get some money out of them, but there's only really one participant in the South Wairarapa, and it's quite hard when they're in Carterton to try and get funding off of them. And so we're just keeping it to a minimum. We've really tried to push in as much as we can. So we've put in about 15, 16 grand of our own money, which is pretty good for 90 people.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for
Thank you.
Thank you. Lovely.
Thanks. See you.
Yes.
Okay, Nick, you're next.
Thank you. Hit the slideshow, but don't worry about it. It's pretty short and sweet. I built mesh core for the Ruakaka Maternal Emergency Hub. Part of that from the meeting we had with Mel Arcus, and she briefly mentioned LoRa, and I knew exactly what that was because I've worked with it previously. These are emergency communicators, which work over radio, and the way it works is that it tethers to your phone with Bluetooth, and then someone else has another radio connected with Bluetooth, and they'll talk via the repeater units. What I'm applying for is effectively stage 2 of my development, which will be to be district-wide. At the moment, I have 2 installed repeaters. This is technically one of them. I took it off the post. There's 2 more ready to be deployed. I'm just trying to negotiate Windy Peak if I can get a hold of who owns it. The current big one is installed on top of the McAvoy farm. I can see as far as Masterton. So it is actually beyond what I thought it was going to do. And yeah, so for the cost of 3 laptops, I can do our whole district.
Application you asked for $3,800 for the
Repeaters. Yep. For these.
3D machines. What that for? Is that
So the 3D printers, if you pass these around, have a look at these. If you pass these around, so these are the handhelds I've made on the one 3D printer I've got. One 3D printer I've got is 4 years old and is considered 2 generations old. And I can't get like precision prints out of it yet. With a new 3D printer, I can actually make much nicer handheld models and produce them for the community.
Something similar to this is already in place in Tairāwhiti.
That's right. Yes, they were the first
They're
district.
using. They've got their own procedures, haven't they?
Yes, they have. Yeah, there's a different design, but the electronic principle is the same.
So you can buy them.
Yes, so you should. These would cost probably sub $150 each. You can actually get some commercial ones that are sub $200. Some go as low as $80. You can't really change their antenna strategy for some of the cheaper ones. They come one size fits all. So the reason I've made my own bespoke ones is that they are customizable, which means I can make whatever size case, whatever size battery, whatever size antenna for the application. The current unit on top of the McAvoy farm has been running for 14 days and 7 hours. It has not missed a beat through the floods. And in fact, my father and I needed to use it because we had no power in the valley. So we were able to arrange checking in on neighbours and yeah, that sort of thing. It does work as far as Lansdowne and Masterton. Also Carterton, I've been working with Scott Palmer, who's a helicopter, works on the Westpac rescue helicopter. And he's also looking at the same technology. He just so happened to be available once I stood up my own system, and we'll be talking to each other from the hill above Aorangi, next to Aorangi there. So yeah, that's 40 kilometres.
No ones are set up already.
Yes, I've already got some set up already.
So did it work in the last emergency?
No worries. Yep, 100%.
How many people are on that?
At the moment, there is only 4 people. These remotes will be given to the Ruakaka Emergency Hub as effectively their first responder remotes. And I'll be generating more for them for the rest of the committee group.
How many do you actually need in the Ruakaka area to actually provide the cover?
Well, that's what I've already paid for. So what I've already invested in so far is the Ruakaka system. And there will be a total of 4 units in the Ruakaka system. And so the funding is not part of that.
We understand every home will need to have one of those.
No, not necessarily.
Not the receiver,
Oh, what are these?
one of those receivers with
Yes.
their cell phone.
I wouldn't say necessarily everyone would need to have one. It would mainly be the key people you'd need to, basically your runners. So people who are in a vehicle who are going to go around and check on all the neighbours. One person could have one of these, and then that would report back to someone like Richard, who would be sitting behind his computer in an event of emergency, and they would be reporting back to Richard, who would have one of these, about the status of our neighbours, the status of flooding, the status of earthquakes, the status of whatever you like. They also have GPS antennas built into them, so they can act as an emergency beacon in times of crisis, and there is no subscription.
Thanks, Chair. Thanks for that, Nick. It's pretty interesting. How many other, or where else in New Zealand is the system being used?
So there's an extensive network in Auckland and Northland at the moment, but this is mainly nerdy people like me making it. In Bay of Plenty and in Gisborne, Tairāwhiti, this has actually been implemented by council. So it's been funded and paid for by council. The interesting thing about Tairāwhiti is that is where Liam Cottle is, and Liam Cottle is basically the inventor of the app. And he's a Kiwi. So this is effectively a Kiwi-made system.
So have you had discussions with Remo?
No, not yet. But seeing as it was Mel Arcus who mentioned it, I imagine these groups would be very interested in it.
Okay.
Still ask the same question. Are you aware that there are 2 or 3 major funds that you can apply to that are directly applicable to?
No, this is the first one I got told to apply for by my partner. So because she was sick of me spending my own money.
Well, there are some big funds which are specifically set up for emergency management.
Okay.
I mean, we're very intrigued with your very supportive of what you're doing.
Yes.
But for the amount of money that you've actually asked for, within the context of the fund as a whole, to get you where you want to be.
Okay.
I'd like to see that you do get to where you want to be. But maybe we will
Have a conversation later.
Later, yeah.
We'll still deliberate, yeah.
Worries. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thanks for demonstrating that, Nick.
No worries. I'll stick around if you want to play with it.
Thanks.
We've got to go to Tantra off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rebecca, isn't it?
Oh, through the door.
So I've got Chris with you. So make me memorable, but also just to demonstrate. So thank you for seeing me today. My name's Rebecca Johnston. I'm the Centre Manager at the Masterton SPCA. And today we're seeking your support through a $1,000 grant to fund microchips and registrations for the animals that will come into our care. So I don't know, I thought I would bring in a microchip and just demonstrate how easy and how quick these things can be, but how crucial they can be to animals and people. So basically this is a microchip. It's on a little needle with a barcode and some numbers. And this is a little chip reader. So the chip, I can read it in here. Well, there we go. So I can see that, and when that combination of numbers is uploaded onto a national database,
then people's details can come up and we can reunite them. And then lovely Christopher is very compliant with everything I do, and he's also been microchipped as well. So microchipping is a crucial part of our work in the animal welfare space. It's a very simple act, creates a lifelong link between pets and their families. Microchipping is one of those small decisions that can have a massive impact, turning separation and despair into reunions and relief. And unlike collars and tags that can fall off, microchips are implanted under the skin and stay there for life. And once registered on a national database, owner information is readily accessible for local vets, clinics, councils and rescue organisations. Thank you very much for considering our application.
Thanks, Chair. So in your application, you say that in the last 12 months, SPCA has supported, or was it 18 animals, which 17 cats and 1 bird, and you're looking for funding of $1,000 to go towards the purchase of 73 microchips and registrations.
Yeah.
Are you applying to any other organisations anywhere else in the Wairarapa?
Yes.
Martinborough.
To Greytown and Carterton and Masterton.
Okay, thanks.
You said specifically for the Martinborough area as being useful.
I suppose, I think with Martinborough, with the animals that we adopt into your community, if those animals do go missing, being able to reunite them with their families in a timely fashion, I think that's, kind of invaluable. As pet owners, I'm sure you're all pet owners, and losing your pets can be very stressful. So if we can reunite them faster, that's great. One of our best fosterers, our best dog fosterers, lives in Martinborough. So she fosters litters and litters of puppies for us. So being able to microchip those puppies and before they go into her care, just in case they manage to, go on a little adventure or things like that, that would be, really crucial as well.
So, so you said you're applying for other districts as well. Will each of them be siloed for Martinboroughs? This is
I don't believe so. No,
it's all going to become one big pool of.
Will be for the Wairarapa, yes.
Dogs, how many dogs do you rehome out of? Did they come out of Masterton?
They come out of everywhere. Yeah, we had one picked up in a car in Martinborough recently, a little puppy living in a pretty grim situation. Your council also offer, when they have dogs come into South Wairarapa care, they often come into us as well. So numbers wise, I wouldn't know off the top of my head, but on the whole, hundreds of dogs be rehomed. Yeah, we're pretty proud of our adoption numbers. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you for your application.
Your turn.
Oh, nothing. I am patient.
Everybody bringing props. I should have brought a can of baked beans along. I'm Peter Croft and this is May Croft, and we're from the Social Crust. And we are a community service organisation which represents 4 elements in this community. We do the Martinborough Food Bank, Greytown Food Bank, the op shop, Princess Street, and we do the Second Bite, which is food rescue.
And the garden.
Oh, we do a garden as well. In Princess Street, there's a garden where we're growing pumpkins and potatoes and corn. You'll have read our application, and I think it's very clear there what we're asking for and why. So we're really happy to answer any questions you've got.
Yeah, so your numbers have been growing 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, and particularly the last few months, actually. And last week we would have packed 97 food boxes last week, yeah, and about a third of those are for Greytown and the rest for this area, and that extends right out to the coast. It's really Martinborough in the hinterland. And well,
it's really unfortunate that there's a need, isn't there, for services that you and the other volunteers are providing.
one thing we didn't probably say in the application is that we manage about 60 volunteers between the 2 food banks and the op shop and Second Bite. Yes.
So all come in weekly to help.
Yeah, it depends. Some of the Greytown people are on a fortnightly roster, but the other people are there every week. But it's quite a.
Have you applied for funding to Greytown Community Board?
Yep. Got a meeting on Thursday, I think it is. Yeah.
And just your application is for operation. So just explain to us some of the things that would actually be used for.
Right, well, the first thing is we pay rent for our building. And when I say rent, it's actually we pay the rates and the insurance.
Yes.
And there's no commercial return for the owner of that building. They generously allow us to, we've got a 5-year lease, and provided we pay the rates and insurance, that's fine. We have printing costs, which for us are quite a lot. Printing costs, yeah. So we print our list for people to fill out what they want. And there's quite a bit of printing that goes on and keeping people up to date with what's going on, what we've got available in our stocks and what's required. The other thing, of course, is the electricity for us, which is quite a bit. We've got 7 freezers and 2 fridges which run 24 hours a day. So it's, we're paying about $4.80 a month for power, for example.
You need a new solar system.
We talked about that, but we need funding to install it.
Yeah, paper bags,
things like that. We're quite extensive users of paper bags in containers for the food that we get. We get food from the mud bakery and we get it in bulk. And what we do is we break it down to usable amounts, put it into plastic containers and then give it to our clients. But all that costs money, of course, to buy. So it runs at about 20 grand a year to our total operational costs.
Say that again.
Just for Martinborough.
Just from, that's for the whole lot.
The whole.
Yeah. And of that 20 grand, we have $7,500, which is given us per annum by Trust House towards that. The rest we have to raise. And as you'll appreciate, we've got a very generous cohort of individuals and family trusts, but of course they want the money to go on the can of baked beans, not on the paper bag, which you can understand. So that's why we're here to the board here to ask for those paper bags, please.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for that.
Pretty comprehensive application with lots of detail. Thanks.
Lots of this. Yeah.
Renee.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So then I realised it's your max.
It's pretty tough to come after the food bank.
Yeah.
I'd just like to thank you for allowing us
to speak to our submission. Richard's here to explain a little bit about the card and the system that we're wanting to set up. I'm just wondering how many of you have visited, I know James has, visited the museum recently and had a look at the George Payne exhibition?
Yeah.
You all have?
Yes, sir.
Recently.
Not recently, yeah.
I know, it's running moments that it's been still done.
Richard was responsible for setting that up and doing the research. And it's a really a good quality exhibition of someone who is local and who's been important in developing the town. So what we are wanting to do is to seek additional funding. We've set aside, I think, $1,500 for this project. And what we're wanting to do is do more if it's possible, if we can get some funding. So we're doing these cards, which are stiff cards in A3 form, and perhaps Richard, who's doing the project, maybe, do you want to talk to it?
Take responsibility for it. Yes, the idea is to develop a series of cards, which will be a growing series over a long period of time, that will hang on a wall in the museum. And if you can imagine that, 2 rows of them, we've measured, and there'll be about 20 of these cards up at any given time. They're designed to answer the questions that visitors typically ask. And they're designed to provide answers in about 500 words or no more. They're essentially pictorial. We're going to use as many photographs as we can because a picture tells 1,000 words. And also because there weren't that many photographs around from the 14th, 15th and 16th centuries, which is a bit of a pity, but it means you end up having to use words. They are not intended to be history lessons, because those of you who've blundered into this field will know that nobody agrees on the history. So they're once over lightly to answer the questions that visitors have, many of whom will forget the answers before they leave. It's, to use the tourist industry's explanation, it's to enhance the visitor experience. But we hope also that it will generate some increasing interest amongst locals in their own history. I bought a couple of sets of the first drafts of these, and if you promise to not tell anybody what's in them, recognise that these are first drafts, and if there's anything wrong with them now, feel free to scribble all over them and we get them corrected. What have I left out, Max?
So are there any questions?
It's certainly an element of the museum that's missing.
Yeah.
The description. In terms of what's on show.
It'll be an opportunity to introduce some balance. It's not that long since the word colonial was dropped out of the name of the museum, which is what it was set up as. In 1980, we've dropped the word colonial out and we're trying to redress that balance. But it takes time. It's a volunteer organisation with limited resources.
So we are trying to improve the quality of the exhibits as well. We did one for Anzac Day, highlighted things that were related to the First World War by poppies, putting poppies around the museum. So we've got a very good small group of very dedicated people who do the exhibits for us.
Can you tell us your visitor numbers?
Yeah, I can tell you up to March. So the total visitors in March was 340. And they were 30 from Martinborough, 40 from Wairarapa, 80 from Wellington, North Island 40, South Island 16, Australia 25, other countries 60, total of, yeah. So, and we have quite a few children. It's educational as well as of other interest. And we get very positive comments like wonderfully curated museum, very interesting, would definitely come again, great resource for a small community, well-informed volunteer. So, so the total, I haven't got a running total. I did it.
Gives us an idea.
Yeah, it's around about 4,000. Yeah, between 4,000 and 5,000 people.
And it's only weekends, except over the Christmas holiday.
That's right. That's right.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. Understand.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, Karen's here.
Yeah,
Karen?
Very hard following those acts, isn't it? Gosh. Okay. Written it down so that I don't miss anything out. So, hi everyone, my name's Karen Hartnell. I'm on the Senko at Martinborough School. At the end of the last year and at the beginning of this year, we were fortunate to have Karina, a qualified music therapist, work with one of our neurodiverse students for a 10-week program. The aim of this therapy was to build connections, support and observe communication, explore sound-based interaction and encourage engagement through music. The progress we observed was both significant and inspiring. The student developed a trusting and positive relationship, began initiating interactions through eye contact, smiling and physical gestures, and showed clear growth in communication skills. There was an increase in vocalization, laughter and sound imitation, and moments of copying and humming. The student also began to understand turn taking, engaged with a variety of instruments, and was able to sustain attention and activities for longer periods. Overall, these were meaningful and measurable gains in connection, communication and engagement, which are the key foundations for learning and well-being in neurodiverse children. Following the success of this program, we would like to extend this opportunity to a small group of neurodiverse students. Neurodiversity refers to children whose brains process, learn and behave in ways that differ from what is considered typical. This includes conditions such as autism, ADHD, dyslexia and dyspraxia. While we do receive some funding from the Ministry of Education to support these students, primarily the money goes towards teacher aid assistance. This funding does not cover the full cost of the support that we pay our TAs. Importantly, there is currently no provision for specialised programs such as music therapy, despite the clear impact that they can have. We would greatly appreciate your consideration of Martinborough School for funding support. Your contribution would enable us to provide this highly effective therapy to more students, helping them build essential skills in a communication, connection and engagement that will positively impact their learning in everyday lives. Sadly, the number of these children is significantly growing by year. We don't have the funding that comes with them, unfortunately. Yeah.
You said it, how many students around about that?
So initially it was, the music therapy was provided for one child, and we saw the success that it was. Karina was amazing. So we've looked, and there'd be 4 to 6 children that we could easily slot in, and I think they would have huge gains. Yeah. Yeah, it was just amazing to see the growth of someone grow in a short period of time. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, do you have other funding streams?
Yes.
round the vines. So round the vines usually is set aside for major things. So the last round the vines has gone to the beautification of Martinborough School. So at the moment they're actually there today. Resurfacing all the uneven concrete, that was a major, because we had a child in a wheelchair and that was ideal. So they've resurfaced all the broken up concrete, and it's just at the moment being prepared by this, I'm not sure what they call it, but it's a surface that goes on top, and that's been painted up for courts, basketball courts, mini courts, things like that. Before that, round the vines, that was probably, I don't know, 5-6+ years fundraising for the turf that we built, that went in the school for the community. Yeah, so there's a turf. So they're like huge projects, yeah. But so for these neurodiverse children that quite a few of them require 24/7 TA supply coverage. So they're children that may have seizures, maybe a multitude of things, but they need someone with them right through morning teas, lunches, all through their schooling. And we get X amount of dollars from the ministry. That's paid at one of the lowest rates. Our TAs, which we constantly keep upskilling, and they do PD all the time, they're at a higher rate, and they don't pay for us to cover them full time. So we might get coverage for 15 hours, and we have to provide the rest of the coverage out of our operational grant. That means less for the children.
And so the school itself doesn't allocate more money for.
Sorry, what's that?
So the school itself doesn't allocate more money from around the vines or something else for this?
No,
right.
Usually that money goes to stand off big projects that they're working to.
Thanks, Chair. Karen, so Karina, who's running these courses, she's local.
Yes.
She's proposing to run a 10-session block. So each session's one-on-one with the child. At what sort of period of time? How many weeks?
Yeah, she initially worked one-on-one with the child. That's who we got her in for first of all. But she works for an hour, and she said that she can work with groups. So it'll be a group at a time working for those 10 weeks.
Oh, for 10 weeks.
Yeah.
10 sessions, one session a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
One session.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's a job. I'm sitting there thinking, how would they possibly decide?
Every pause is so worthy.
I know.
My goodness, they have to have the money. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Karen.
Yeah.
Just
Thanks, Liz.
That's all right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Avenues for me, so if it's easier on all of you. Help you out with everybody else. Okay.
Thanks for coming along and explaining everything to us. That was really, really interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, we,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I
we
think
did
we
for
do,
the
we,
whole wards.
yeah,
Whole
yeah,
region.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It is.
The application, I was quite happy with it, so.
Yeah.
Good luck, mate.
Like, yeah, all the best. If someone can,
Yeah.
'cause
I've just given her Lena's.
I was just gonna say, it's Lena.
She's messaged me. She's like, he's got to talk to me.
Yeah, oh, awesome. Oh, that's great.
It's good.
Thanks for your time. Dan.
Thanks, Nick. Right, toilet break, sorry.
Okay. We actually like.
Yeah.
all of this, like, we- Oh, that's a great, that's innovation.
I'm just going to pause this.
Sorries.
And actually, there's some commercial on this, and I think.
I think so too. That's-
But I'm going to talk to those councils who said we're already looking at that, using it.
Yeah.
What they've done.
Recording stopped.
Yeah, because he's,
But I'm muted and I have turned the screen off. Can you hear us, Lena? Oh, she can. I don't know how to do that.
It is a little stop.
The recording, I think the recording stopped though.
It's the teams.
Right,